Hey guys, how's it going? Here we go. Another Sunday. A little more Q&A. Uh-oh. Where'd you guys go? Oh, there you go. All right, sorry. New phone, so I'm playing with a couple of things here. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. All right, cool. Keto Paleo Q A, Sunday, 7/24. A lot of good questions this week. One in particular, most of them revolved around ketogenic diets or dieting in general and stalling, which means maybe losing, not losing weight. But that's what I mean by stalling. So one of the most common things, actually there's a bunch of things, and for everyone it might be something different. Girl in particular was living off what I call all the keto loopholes. Every time she would eat something, she was like pure butter or pure fat bombs. There was no real food coming into play at all. Be careful of that. Just because a diet says you can have X, Y, or Z as a cheat, and you'll see people broadcasting as all this stuff on Instagram. Oh, hey, this is ketogenic guy. He's very successful. And then here he is posting pictures of making porchos. If you don't know where porchos are, those are on, I got a nice recipe on keto-paleo.com. If you live your diet with all the little treats, you may find yourself stalling really fast or not being successful at all. A lot of times what happens is you get used to that. Those treats are intended to be a port in a storm, so to speak. I try to influence people to eating real food as much as possible. You know, I take the paleo ketogenic approach on this diet, which means as much real food as possible, which means, you know, not a ton of cheese, not a ton of the dairy stuff, not a ton of hitting Starbucks every day on the way to work, making a heavy cream cappuccino. I know it's easy, and I know and sometimes it's feel like you need it or you deserve it, but be careful of those things. You have some goals in mind here, and those goals might not involve so many treats. Now, if you're going for something and you know you're going to probably knock yourself out of ketosis, like you're just dying for whatever, a cake or something like that, that's when you pull those bag of tricks out of your hat. And like, I'm dying for candy, make the dairy-free fat bombs or regular fat bombs. Use those as tools to get you through those hard times. And those are some of the most common things I see. People just pounding, like I said, pounds of cheese or whatever, and going hog wild a lot of the times. And after this client had asked that question, it spawned a lot of the other things of what you're really up against when you're maybe on a weight loss journey or trying to adapt this ketogenic or paleo lifestyle. Is some things to be really conscious of and careful of. Falling into old habits quickly. Or making those excuses. I'm going up north for the weekend. We're going, whatever destination that you've gone to since you were a kid, and you always go to, for us it was Ludington, Michigan. We would always go to that House of Flavors. If you have goals right now, those goals might not involve those treats like that. Not saying that you can never have them again, but if you have a particular goal in mind, you might want to maybe dodge that for a while, or dodge some of them old traditions for a little while. If you're doing this ketogenic paleo diet for health reasons, you may need to find new rituals or habits until that becomes not such a temptation anymore. Other things to be careful of, people who really secretly want to see you fail. You run into this pretty regular. People who have not been successful on their journey giving you the excuse of, oh, come on, live a little. That's a quick derailer. Or a real quick one for yourself derailer would be, oh, I've been doing really good, I deserve it. And then you'll open the floodgates. For some of us, we have to treat this sugar addiction like that, just simply that, a drug addiction almost. And sometimes that one treat or that one, I deserve it will smash the hell out of your goals. And the next thing you know, you're back in your fat pants. Or you're back in front of the doctor and you're looking at blood pressure medication again. Or, you're looking down the barrel of being back on insulin. So keep your treats just like that, and be conscious of that. When you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, and you see these some of these successful keto guys, even like myself, I tend to post the treats a lot. And I think the reason I do that is to show people that there is those ports in a storm if you can't make it. Or once you achieve your goals, maybe you can have them a little more often. So I'm guilty of the same thing too. Just be careful of that and realize that I'm not doing that all the time. 99 or 95% of the time I'm doing good. You've seen maybe this week that I posted some of the Quest treats. Those are delicious. Those too are a port in a storm. Those are going to be like, hey, I'm going to the movie with my daughter. She's going to have popcorn and Raisinets and all the treats. I'm going to be able to feel human again because, companies like that will have these, their peanut butter cups and their mint cups and their chocolate bars, and that combined with, say, some, the low-carb chips that they make. And I'll have that maybe with some Diet Pop, and I'll feel like I'm partaking too. But don't make it, keto cups, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as much as Quest would love to hear that. But make those treats, because calories will catch up with you fast. You can still overeat on a ketogenic diet, and that may be another reason for stalling. So let me see. I wrote some notes on the board. Some other reasons for stalling. I've had people with nothing's good as taste. Yeah, you're right. And if you can keep that mentality, that's great. I have a little meme that I made about, I have goals today, and right now those goals don't involve X, Y, or Z. A lot of times that's the break room thing. You go to the break room, it's so-and-so's birthday, break room at work is what I mean, or wherever you're at, and it's so-and-so's birthday. Or Christ, in this country, it seems like every time we turn around, we got a reason to drink or party. So almost every weekend, days ending in Y, almost mentality. And if you have goals and that doesn't fit those goals, find different ways, find different things. Find different people to hang out with if you have people derailing these goals. You deserve it, or you look fine, and maybe it's not looking about fine. Maybe it's about feeling better, or for like me, maybe it's about performance. 12 weeks out from any type of competition, I'm as diligent as I can be. Some people don't get it. Some people love to see other people fail. I didn't really stick with days I have. It's not, yeah. Well, yeah, and there's an old Red Green episode back in the day. I'll take it serious after my first heart attack. A lot of people take that mentality. They just keep plowing through, and you know what? It's a no-brainer. If it's not instant death, a piece of cake. It's one of those slow drug out things. So if you got goals, stick to them. And try and be healthy. I mean, if that's your goal, there are some lifestyle changes, plain and simple. Sorry, and then we're bombarded with treats at every single corner on this country. It's if you guys are familiar with that old Pixar, Slow Death. If you're familiar with that old Pixar cartoon WALL-E, the main company or sponsor being By and Large. Sometimes I wonder if that's where we're not headed. 10 months for you, good for you. That's awesome. So. Let's look at what else we have on our board here. Sometimes dairy. I've had a lot of clients come through the gym that's tried a standard ketogenic diet, stall, and then have to switch over to the Keto Paleo version, which is a little more restrictive, but I find it to be a little more targeted towards optimal health. And for some people, dropping the dairy out of there takes a variable of that big cheat food come out because maybe they were making those porchos too much, or maybe they're making keto pizza too much, or like I said before, they were just plowing down like ketogenic ice cream made out of heavy cream, or doing the Starbucks thing ad nauseum with tons of heavy cream. And you can overeat. You can still overeat. things outside the spectrum of nutrition that might not be, I do stall monthly, but I still on a down. Good for you. That's awesome. Some other things that be careful of outside of your diet that may be stalling you. There's stress. Stress is a big inhibitor of weight loss. If you're stressed out all the time, for some people that causes a stall in the weight loss. There's things like candida overgrowth. We've had clients that have extreme candida overgrowth that weren't even aware of that. Porcho's recipe. If you go to keto-paleo.com and go to the blog, there will be a recipe for it. It's basically nachos made with pork rinds. Almost everything else the same, baked in the oven, cheese, guacamole, avocado, everything that you like on it. It's a good treat meal. Port in a storm, mind you, not an every Friday night kind of thing. If you need that thing for that's a treat or a special occasion and don't want to get knocked out of ketosis, that's a great treat. Part-time keto. All right, this is a big, I guess, common thing. Yeah, you're welcome, Martin. Is it Martha? Oh, Martha Tillery. Oh, you're welcome, hon. Part-time keto. All right, I'm very, very keto Monday through Friday. And the weekend comes and I blow it off. Most of the time for people to even get back into ketosis, it takes 3 or 4 days. So they hit Thursday, then Friday comes again, and it's back to the treats. And they're wondering why they can't lose. If not, they start gaining weight. That's pretty common as well. So you're pretty good Monday through Friday, and then Friday night comes, and whoo-hoo, it's pizza time. Keto adaptation, legit keto adaptation, takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And you don't need to carb refeed. You had a couple of people on here jump on, took me 3 weeks. Okay, that's awesome. Good for you. Me, I know maybe because I'm older, was more metabolically resistant, takes every bit of 4 to 6 weeks. So be careful of that. The part-time keto, don't do it. That was very popular with the Atkins diet back in the day. And I think one of the main reasons is not because he didn't do a good job of writing his book. If anyone who's actually ever read that book cover to cover, it's what I like to call the mom-to-mom interpretation. Hey, what's the premise of that diet? Oh, you can eat bacon and cheese. And then you got, like I said, you got people every night after dinner watching TV dipping pork rinds in sour cream and pounding a Diet Pop with it. And the next thing you know, they've eaten 2,000 calories just during Matlock. So be careful of that. The little loopholes in there, like I said, beginning in this podcast, port in a storm. You need a treat. I can't take it. I'm going to fall off the wagon. Port in a storm. Yeah. Oh, here's a big one. Drinking too much. There are some keto-friendly ways to have drinks and be social at a party. For a lot of people, though, once you have too much alcohol, 2 things can happen. One, you will get knocked out of ketosis. Some people has a certain level of it and they can get knocked out of ketosis. The other one is all of a sudden it becomes a gateway drug and you find yourself in the Taco Bell drive-thru saying, screw it, I'm, blah, blah, blah. You only live once and all of a sudden you're uninhibited again. So be careful of that. And also, if you were really metabolically resistant and maybe had suffered from type 2 diabetes pretty bad or even type 1 diabetes and you're trying to find your way on this diet, you might have to give up some booze for a while, and not to get too personal, but if you get to the point where someone says, hey, why don't you give up drinking for 6 months, and that sounds like absolute blasphemy, you might need to go to some meetings at that point. Or an indicator that you do have an addictive personality. I do. I know that having one cheat meal, if it was a legitimate cheat meal, sometimes opened the floodgates for me. This last Halloween, I went off for my birthday and thought I was going to be able to maintain through the holidays. Oh, hell no. It was like a carb shark after that. So let me check my list one more time, make sure I covered everything. Stressful, shift work, hogging it up. Yeah, I think we got it all covered. So remember, treats, port in a storm. Don't make the premise of your diet all butter and fat bombs. You want to keep to real food as much as possible. Keep that insulin response down. Yes, you can still overeat. Try to avoid some of the old stomping grounds, some of the old habits. I would love a glass of wine. Glass of wine once in a while. I do believe it's the dry red stuff. I'm not a wine guy. You'd have to do a little research on it. Probably not a deal breaker. You pound a whole bottle, then maybe that's a deal breaker. Keep an eye on it yourself. That's a lot of stress on your liver, and that's where a lot of this metabolism happens with glucose and, triglycerides. So keep all those in mind. Keep up the good work. Like I said, you can either email me at jamie@keto-paleo.com. You can message me on Facebook. You can tweet out questions. You can Snapchat me something, anything you want. I'm going to be hosting a Keto Paleo seminar August 27th at the University of Michigan, and I'm going to have a co-speaker now. Holly Higgins is going to be speaking on some of the success she's had with helping people with paleo diets and stress and anxiety and things of that nature. I'm going to wrap up that seminar with a ketonics how-to, or some of the basic fails with ketonics and mistakes that people make. And if you also come to that seminar, I got the okay to give a 10% discount. So give you a 10% discount. If we all order together, we can save on shipping from Sweden. We'll go through some of the basics at the end of that seminar. If you can make it, that would be awesome. If you could share, that would be awesome as too. And also don't forget, I have the Ketonics app out there for you beginners. So if you're on Android, have an Android tablet or phone, the Keto Check app will help guide you through the beginning stages of trying to figure out what's keto, what's not. I will and eventually release it on Apple, and I'm working on releasing it as a web app as we speak too. So keto-paleo.com will hopefully host that tool for anybody who have access to the internet. All right, you guys, I really appreciate it. That was a little longer-winded, but stalling and regression happens a lot to all of us, and I thought I'd cover some of those things to help you be careful. I'm going to be back again live next Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Please share with your friends. I will repost this video probably to Facebook and YouTube. So if something you missed or want to rewatch, or I think Periscope holds it for 24 hours too, please go ahead. Appreciate it. Keep the questions coming. Thanks, guys.